All right, art students, welcome back. Welcome back. Now, today I want to do another action pose position, but I've been slowing down on them because I just didn't want to draw and then have you not learn anything, have you see me draw. So I've been trying to figure out, a way to draw this and then have you draw it and understand it as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow down and break them down again, I think like I did in the very beginning. But lately I've just been drawing and just kind of like kicking them out for the sake of getting my book together. So I'm going to slow down and then try to break it down as best I can so that you guys can kind of follow and understand, because the whole purpose of the book or any drawing book is for you to redraw what you see, but it's easier if you know how to break it down per step to draw. So let's go ahead with this. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my paper. I want to turn it somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna turn it like this. So when I draw it, it'll be kind of like more action. It's more action when something is like versus coming this way. It could like be tilted and come to you, another way. So give it a little more action. So don't always draw your picture up, straight up and down. Give it a little tilt to it and then draw it. And then when you turn it back up, you're like, oh, that's kind of nice. So I'm going to do this. So let's get on with this drawing. So first thing I'm going to do is kind of visually, and if you have like a dummy or something that you can use to actually make it better, then, pose your dummy and then use that for just a basis. And then add your muscle. All right, so what I'm going to do is the torso. Always start with the torso. Don't start with the head or the feet or the legs. Let me see if I can get this a little darker, because I think my last video was a little too light. So I'm going to center line, but I'm going to tilt this guy. And anytime you tilt that torso, you're going to get that V, so that you can bring that head down into that shoulder to give him that tilt. I would show my dummy, but I'd have to stand up to get him. I'll show him later. So once I'm on the torso, we have this. And once you tilt it back, you're going to, where's my test paper? My example paper. Torso, not tilted. Torso, tilted. Not tilted. Your delts are going to be down like this. I should have moved that over. Your delts are going to be right down. Once you tilt that torso, this collarbone right here becomes that V, and your delt, the center of your delt, this is going to kind of go to the center of your delt, and your delt is going to go behind your back a little bit, which delts do. So whenever you tilt that torso down, it's not going to be like this. It's not going to be like that. I should have known to look at you. Again, it makes that V, and then it's not going to be right here on the bottom. Whereas if you do straight on like this, the torso is going to be right under there, like the weight, like some weights, like some balancing weights. When you tilt it, you're going to have that V. Your head is not going to be up here like on this one. Your head is going to come down into your shoulders, depending on how much you tilt your person forward. And these are not going to be like this. They're going to be centered. That where that V comes at the top, it's going to be kind of centered. Not too much, not too much back, because that makes it look like your shoulders are going back. You're just tilting forward. So yeah, and then you might see some of your neck. Your neck is going to be right here at this center line, at this cross point. But you might see some of it, you might not see some of it. All right, so we got the V, depending on how much is coming down. The delts are going to be here. You put your arm how you choose to put your arm, which in this case is going to go back and then kind of down. And you tell by your cylinder. How does the cylinder go? Well, the cylinder could be, okay, this is the front circle. Yeah, there you go. I'll say for a second, your cylinder or your arm. So if you want to do an arm going back, you're going to see the opening like that. If you want to do one coming forward on top of that, you're going to see the opening there. So it's going to go back like this. Just by your cylinders. So remember, if you can see inside the cylinder, it's going back. If you can see in what? Okay, just forget I just said that. So anyway, I had to throw that out there before I could see what I was saying. So yes, it's just your cylinders. Your cylinders determine front and back, or up and down, whichever way you put your cylinder. Can't believe I just did that. Anyway, back to the thing. Back to the this. So arm going back. And another thing is, where's my example? Depending on how back you put the arm determines how short this is going to be. So if I'm putting this, where did it go? So I'm putting this arm back, way back, it's going to be short. If I'm putting this arm straight out, it's going to be long like that. If I'm putting it forward, it's going to be short too, except you're going to see the opening of this. You're going to have the front circle here and the back circle there if I had it going forward. But it's not going to go forward, it's going to go back, and the forearm is going to come forward. Delt, center, because it's going to split that delt. That delt goes all the way to the back, really. But you don't want to put it there because it makes it look like his shoulders are going back. So I want to put this down a little bit. Here's my circle. My front circle is going to be here. My back circle is going to be here. And then I'm going to bring this one out here so I can kind of see the front circle here. A true drawing lesson. And it also depends how much circle you see determines how much of an angle it is pointed at you. And if you see no circle, then it's going straight to the side. So here, let's bring this, because with this, I kind of keep this whole thing, when I'm tilting someone, I keep the chest and the delts kind of like one whole piece, like a football shoulder pad. And because this is this whole piece is tilted, you're gonna not see so much of this. You're gonna see a little less of that, of this mountain here, or this tunnel. And what I'd like to do is, using my blue, is you keep coming around, and then that's gonna be your first set right here. As you come around. Second set, I'll come around, same line, and then I'll just bring it like that and keep it on that same line. And the third set, I'll do the same thing, but just to make them, each one of them smaller, and that gives you that leaning forward kind of look. But this guy is going to go down because he's going to be kind of jumping with two swords. So you're going to have a little bit of that. The waist, tuna can, and then you're going to have the upside down house. But because this is like this, you know he's leaning forward. And then what you can do is bring that hip, the waist up a little bit more, this part up higher, to make it really look like he is kind of sandwiching. Keep an eye on the screen, Brian. Keep an eye on the screen. So do this, and then this one's gonna go up, this is gonna go around, this one's gonna go around, and this one's gonna come down. So this one is kind of like this way, and this one is that way. Drawing it, so this one's gonna be here, and this part is gonna come down, showing that there's curve to that. And then the legs are going to come this way because you're going to see the crotch. You're going to see the side of the crotch, or the front of the crotch, because when the legs go up, this kind of tilts as well, kind of. So I'm going to put one leg. Hopefully I won't run out of room. So I'm going to put one leg kind of almost all the way up. Again, it all depends on your circle, how much of an opening you're going to see. This one's going to be more down. But even at that, you're going to see some of this circle. So I'm going to put the knee here. That might be a little short. I'll come back for it in a second. Put my knee here, just circle for now. And then I'm going to put that back leg. Remember, where's that drawing that I showed for the other one? This here, this tucks up under here. This was the last video, if I'm not mistaken. This calf is a very strong calf, kind of a solid muscle. So it's going to push up here, and then the way the foot is shaped, like this, if it's standing, this is where that back thigh is going to rest right there. So this is going to be pushed up by that calf here. And since I'm not going to have it completely tucked under, I'm just going to do that big bulk for that calf. And then angle probably like that. Then do a little cylinder right here, and then put the foot. However I put the foot. I haven't figured that out yet. This one's going to come back more. So the calf is still going to be up under here. Come back. And then you put the foot, however. I usually like to chop off my ankles right here, so I'll know how long it is, so I don't make it too long, so I'll know where the foot is. Heel is a little instep, and then the arch, if I'm not mistaken, this is called the arch. So make that arm a little bigger. Palm and palm. And then your thumb is going to go down like that. So the fingers are going to go and wrap around, but you're not going to see that. And that's the one thing about doing a sword, is that little guard can cover up a lot of mistakes. So I'm going to do the guard like right here. And then probably put that sword up here. This one is going to go like here. So if I'm doing the guard, you really won't see too much of the hand. You might see just a piece of that palm. And that's the crazy part about doing swords. It's just the way you hold your hand. You have to actually, if you're going to aim something at somebody, you have to tilt that wrist, you know, put that thumb, because it's kind of hard to do, but that's how you do it. It's just like really hard. I'm not gonna say really hard. I'm just gonna say it's not as easy as it looks. Especially if you want to get that sword or that stick or that whatever just right at that just right angle. Then you have to get that hand just right. So I'm going to wrap that thumb around it. And it's going to sit on that palm. Thumb is going to come and go around it. These other fingers, you're going to have the high one, another here, and another one there. So you really won't see too much of the fingers because it's going. I can make the go a lot bigger and you see none of the fingers, but in my head, I'm trying to get this position that's in my head. Let's take this down. Because he's not going to have any lats. He is leaning forward. I think I might bring this down a lot more and bring that chest down. This is why you should always walk away from your drawings. A little more chest, so that's going to be more like that. You have that muscle, that actual trapezius muscle. Your biceps are going to be here going back, so your delt is going to be here, and you might see a little bit of the tricep. Again, bicep is here going back, so this is going to separate the bicep tricep. You see a little tricep there. The split goes to your thumb. It's going to be that little point. Blue pencil. It's going to be kind of like this. Can you see that with this pencil? Let's see if I get a regular pencil. These are not as smooth, or they're too smooth. They don't really have that bite like these do. This is why I like that, because basically it'll kind of like slide off the paper, you know, kind of gets out. It gets out the way. It goes off track. Where these, they grab the paper and you kind of have to force it in some way. It's not so smooth like this. Like if you buy an ink pen that's really wet and it just leaves ink all over the place, and you have one that's nice and dry. So anyway, this is going to be a split right here on that forearm. And that split goes up to the thumb. And I have to check these arms because there's something about these arms that I'm not really happy about. I don't know what it is yet, but that's why you walk away. Again, that's why you walk away. So I'm giving them a little bit of lat, just a little bit. And there's so much glare on this from this pencil from above light. You can't see it, but I can definitely see that glare. So this one, if it's there, it's going to come down like here somewhere. Get that neck. And the only time I actually draw with a pencil is if if I don't have my blue pencil or my red pencil around. Like if I'm at work, no, actually I have a red pencil in my bag for work. But that's the only time I use actual pencil, if I don't have a blue one around. And I'm just sketching something I won't even try to keep. Like if I have an idea in my head, I'll just grab a pencil and then start sketching. So your obliques are going to be right here, which comes down there. It's going to be your hip. Your leg is going to be, get rid of that pencil. Like this. You're going to have that knee. It's going to go out and down and back. So you're going to have this right here, this fat piece of the leg there. Probably will see some buttocks, maybe a little bit, the little split right there. And then up, down, and to the knee. And then that knee, and then this is going to go back. And again, I chop off that ankle. That way I can see how long that part is. If it's too long, and it depends on the angle. You always have to remember your angles that something is going. Is it going back? Which also is a good reason why I do the little ends. So I can remember it's going back. Or if it's coming forward. Okay, ankle here, ankle there. This foot, this is going to be like this, going to be rounded off like that and that. I don't know, something, as I say, something about this arm that I don't see it yet. Maybe it's me. Because this is going to be tilted to the side. You're going to see some back. And I want this to come forward. This one. That's going straight now. That should not be going straight. How about this is going down and back. And I want this one to come out a little more. We're just doing the same line. With more of an upshot. So the sword is going to come here. That way. So I've got this palm and the thumb is going to be coming this way and over that part of the sword. So this is going to be my palm, blue pencil. You have this thumb here, the palm, which is kind of holding it, and the other side of the palm. It's going to this opening piece right here is here, and the finger is going to come around and it's going to wrap around it. But again, I'm going to cover it up with the guard. looking into the monitor. And so when I tilt it up like that, it's like he's coming down at you, versus having the paper like that. I have the paper turned like this so I could draw it straight, but then when I tilt it, it kind of almost looks like he's dropping down from the ceiling at you. So wherever you can, just tilt your paper just a little bit and then draw your character. And because this is tilted, this set of abs is going to cover this set just a slight bit. Just a slight bit. Use that eraser is raggedy. Even make that waist a little smaller. I could just leave it that way. Just because the lack of abs, I'm going to kind of give him a smaller waist. And this is going to come up, of course, here. This one's going to go back. You have that little V. And of course, your calf. And I don't always draw the leg muscles on everything because I'm not really a leg muscle expert. Something I haven't really dove into too much. Leg muscles. So let's see, a couple fingers here. I think I'm going to ink this one. So if I tilt his head down more, I don't want him to look down. It's kind of like dropping out the ceiling looking at you. So if I drew like a chandelier or something and give you that impression that, oh, this guy's coming out of that ceiling, dropping down from the ceiling, or a high point anyway, high vantage point. So I was saying I was watching is it Invincible? Yeah, Invincible. And I think about the first 3 or 4, animation was really, really good. And then they started, like as they always do with anything that's new, they started to get, really kind of cheap on you. You can tell the drawings or the lines in the drawings that weren't as round. They started getting more squarer. And if you haven't seen it, it's definitely not for kids because it is just violent and there's a lot of language, a lot of bad language, and a lot of blood. Where they take somebody's head and crush it and the eyes pop out and blood is shooting all over the wall. It's that, yeah, it's like that. It's like that. Good story because I haven't really figured it out yet. I never read the comics, so I'm just going to wait for the story to play out. They might change it just so that people won't say, yeah, I read the comic and I know what's going to happen with him and her and the whole 9 yards. So you can't say. That neck is you either going to bring that chin to that where you can't see that neck, or you're going to see some neck. Center line. Why is this not centering? It's not writing right there. Chin. Up. This neck here. This is the V for that. So you're going to see this, and you're going to see that, this, and you're going to see that. And that's all the neck. You're going to see you see those little V's, or where the neck sinks in at. So I am going to do something else with this. I'm going to ink this. A lot of times I so badly want to put clothes on them, but not in this video because everything I draw from point now until I finish. It's going to go in the book for drawing. So I don't, as I said before, I don't want to draw a bunch of characters and then have you draw the characters. This is for you to create your own characters or to use these positions for your own character drawings. So that's why I'm not really putting shadow and shading and other things like that, because you might want this position, and this is great, but if there's a light behind him, if he is jumping down from the ceiling, then a lot of this you won't see. So if I just, do like shadow here and then I do my feathering, that's the wrong shadow for your particular drawing. So I'll leave that part up to you. And I did have a couple videos on shadowing and where to place shadows. So go back into the, and see that. Go back into the file and see that. Go back into the catalog and see that. This is on top. So all this has to be erased. So I will ink this. How about that? I'll ink this, but see, if I ink it, then I can't copy it and then add clothes to it later, because I want to actually create characters out of all of the ones that I'm doing. And since you're still here with me, let me just show you past things that I'm still working on. I actually did not close, just characters themselves. You got that one. This is an old lesson. That's nothing. You got Duke. I'm still working on from Animal Dog Soldiers. If I keep it that, call it that. I got this guy that I'm going to finish up. What else? What else? I got these guys laying all over the place until I want them. Then I can't find them. This one, which was a different sketch, which just turned out wrong. So I decided to try to fix it. Where are my drawings? Is that them? Okay, these are them. So you may have seen this. This was, I don't know if this was the finished one, or if this was the one I didn't really like. And then we have this, long time ago, this, and this. These are all going to be in the book, but I also want to add clothes to make a character out of them. When is the book coming out, Brian? As soon as I get enough people that subscribe and leave comments so that I can start making more money and get away from my day job and do this full time, then I'll have time to be putting books out and other such things. So again, I have a kids channel for kids to draw. Kids are artists, it's called. I'll leave a link in there, and I've got a couple extra drawings up for that channel. I only had like 3 the first time I told you. I think I have like 5 now, maybe 6, but I'm still working on that. On top of this, on top of my comics, which I haven't touched, on top of my job, which I have to touch. So yeah, one day I'm gonna get a team together and just pay you guys to do some of this stuff. Take over. All right, so yeah, I'm going to leave this. I was gonna ink it, but I'm gonna leave it as is. Maybe turn the face like that. Here's my nose. Here's my mouth. He's not happy. Coming down, he's happy. He's gonna come down and slice it, brother. So yeah, palm there. Thumb is gonna be behind that. Sword is gonna be right here. So yeah, looking back over it, hopefully I did step by step for you guys, and then you'll know how to do this. Start out and do this thing here. And then I will be on to my next video. So when I turn it there, it's like he's coming down for you. So if I put up like a face like up here, he's kind of like looking up, be like that. He's like, oh no, who is that guy? You won't see no nose, and the other guy's head could be like right here. Draw the thing, Brian. His ear would be here. You might see some nose, you might not. Ear would be like right here, and he's coming down on these cats. So yeah, That's what it's like. Erase this. I hate drawing on my finished product. So, okay, that's going to be it for this 37-minute video, minus, I think I cut it maybe twice. 37-minute video, and then there you go with this guy. I don't know what I'm going to call it. The overhead killer or something. So, yeah, I'm going to ramble. I'll give you the bell right here, and then I will see you guys in the next video. Again, subscribe and like, and yeah, I'll start to make longer videos and more, kicking more out. All right, that's it. Later.